Welcome back, Officers of the Republic. It's your course on Honorable Police Chief APGAINS. I want to talk about a number of free-to-play issues, and sorry for looking off down there suspiciously. My dog is snoring right now. I don't know if you can hear him or not. He's a loud snorer. But a number of concerns have been raised recently, and I know I haven't been super out in the open recently. I haven't been super visible. I'm going to be honest with you. Just pure unadulterated anger has consumed my life recently. And I have just not wanted to make videos in an angry state. I feel like the quality of videos goes down. And now, as you can tell, I feel very blissful and ready to talk about the free-to-play journey. So, obviously, we have a free-to-play account and a free-to-play guild. And actually, while we're at it, if you want, we have a couple of open spots for the People's Guild if you guys are interested. The surefire way to get in is if you're an existing patron member, obviously. But if you were not, apply, and then when we do Free-to-Play Friday streams, make sure to show up on Free-to-Play Fridays, and we will hear your plea for asylum, and if you are convincing enough, / funny enough, / have a cool enough talent, or I just need people so that we can run another raid, you can get in. There is a lot that has combated the true die-hard, unbelievably sanctimonious free-to-play as of recent. It is no surprise and no shock to anyone that the existence of true free-to-play players has diminished considerably in the recent months, mostly because of Lightspeed, but also just because of the increasingly hard competition in higher and higher GACs. And CG says they were going to address this with skill squish / matchmaking improvements that I was really excited about, and then I realized didn't actually do anything or didn't actually work the way that I was hoping that they would, which is kind of sad. But to be fair, I mean, that's what I get for expecting changes to money-based matchmaking. So it appears that a lot of the free-to-play irks of the three main walls that exist throughout the GAC brackets that are preventing people from having upward mobility, and not only just preventing people from having upward mobility, but more importantly, preventing people from having competitive, fun GACs at low levels, which I would argue is a relatively important part of the game's life cycle, keeping people excited to keep playing, the core game mechanic of the game. One thing that I've always criticized other people is being too intense on the newer player, because the newer player is most likely at first just trying to have fun. I don't know about you guys, but the first year and a half of me playing this game, I wasn't like oh my god, this is, the most important thing in my life. I have to make sure I have a fundamentally optimal roster at every point, and if I have a little bit of bloat, I have to go, cut my nutsack off or anything like that. No, I farmed Night Sisters, and I had fun, and then I was like, GAC, when I hit level 85, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, and I did that for a little bit, and then I fell in love, and that's where, a lot of people get into the really intense stuff. But I would hope that they would put soft locks for how far you can fall relative to GP, just because I think they're pushing. We all know there's a huge marketing campaign right now. I'm seeing ads everywhere for, I used to never see any ads, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are seeing those ads as well. They're obviously focusing on getting people in and reducing a little bit of the areas where people can spend money to get people to spend money early. And I just think it would probably be a good idea. Maybe just for the first couple brackets. You can let 13 million GP players in oh god, I don't know the name of the division. I know Kyber and Erodium. Whatever the second division is, you can let the 13 million GP players in. But you should leave the first, Bronzium, Chromium. I don't know. No, it's Bronzium, right? Bronzium's the lowest. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that Bronzium is the lowest. Even if that's not the case, I'm going to say it, and though I may be incorrect, you guys will at least understand what I mean. I would not complain if Bronzium was infinitely deep and housed everyone under, 3 million GP, everyone under 2 million GP, something like that, and then you can have the old money-based matchmaking Wild Wild West go on forever and ever for everyone else, and that would be fine. And at that point, probably they're 1 million to 2 million GP, and they've come to love the Grand Arena and really understand how the game works, and it's a good enough cushion and threshold for people, because it used to be the case that, the game didn't really start to level 85. And level 85, you kind of had enough to understand what the game was doing, and they threw you in a grand arena. And then, there was people who had more efficient rosters per their GP, and you would lose to those guys. But by and large, you would win a lot, and depending on, how well you understood the game, which I think is kind of how most games work, for being fucking honest. Ooh, free Scout Trooper shards. I don't have these. But now, with things like Lightspeed bundles getting you a bunch of characters really quickly, but more importantly, things like Hyperdrive and people just progressing to level 85 really fast, you can go from not really knowing how to play the game to being an active participant in almost all of the game and still having absolutely no idea what's fucking going on. And I think to combat that, they were like, hey, we should probably make the start of the game 4 million GP when they added Conquest and Proving Grounds and all that stuff. So the real game now starts at 4 million GP. The only problem is that it takes a long time to get there unless you spend money, which is nice for them because you can spend, $50 to get to 800,000 GP, grind another 800,000 GP, spend $50 to get another 800 to 1 million GP, and then boom, you're close to 4 million GP, but you spent a couple $100 along the way. So I'm sure they're happy about that. So I hear your concerns at the end of the day, and then I guess the last thing I want to talk about is I'm obviously a busy man. The fuck, dog. So I'm trying to get people. We brought on editors, and then they all just disappeared and stopped replying to my texts and emails, which was kind of sad. I felt heartbroken. So I'm trying to make it so that we can get more help, so that the quality of content, not only on the main channel, but the 7 other channels that I have, can go up and require less work so that I can spend time with my family. And a lot of people were asking me after finding out about that, they're like, does that mean the free-to-play account's going to die? I don't think the free-to-play account's going to die. The same way I don't think the Marvel Snap Strike. I almost said Marvel Snap Force. The Marvel Strike Force account won't die, and the Heroes of Middle-earth account won't die. It'll just be less frequent than people would probably like, but we will always have free-to-play Fridays and the People's Guild. So if you want to join the People's Guild, join the Patreon, or join the Patreon for the Cube, which beta will start soon, which will be awesome, and you guys will be like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing ever. Oh my god, it gets better every single day. APGAINS, this is so awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. And I'm going to elongate this outro for another 10 seconds because when I get to 8 minutes, we get, wait for it, I'll give you a thumbs up on your comments if you know what happens at 8 minutes. Oh, mid-roll ads. Okay, bye.